It's JoJo, and we're the Privilege Show here with two of my favorite co-hosts, Cecily, Jamelia, Isaac Hayes, hitting y'all with a very spur of the moment Oscars 2022 recap. As you can imagine, the Oscars rang in with a bang. I know y'all are seeing everything that happened with the Oscars, more so with what happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock. Oscars 22, I get that always mixed up, y'all. 22 rang in with a bang or a slap. I reviewed it after watching it. I really don't know what to call it. It was almost a weird type of movie stunt punch mixed with a hint of like the Ali movie training. I don't know. Either way, it went down. And if you haven't heard by now, obviously I'm talking about, and we're going to be talking about the 2022 Oscars that took place in Los Angeles. It was Los Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This year's nominees included names like Denzel Washington, Bradley Cooper, Steven Spielberg, Kristen Stewart, Nicole Kidman, Billie Eilish, Beyonce, Kirsten Dunst, Questlove, and obviously the man of the night, Will Smith. So I've almost everyone that I've talked to about the situation, that I've seen posting about it or, you know, giving their opinion on it, they've kind of shared the same sentiment with being speechless. So we wanted to bring y'all this episode specifically to capture my co-hosts. I want to know what y'all feel about this whole thing. Cecily is very outspoken. Isaac is very comically outspoken. So I feel like this would be a good mix with Isaac, you being a comedian, and being able to come from that perspective. And then Cecily, you just keeping it just straight 100. So I'm gonna start with you, Cess. Good to see you, first of all, both of you guys. What are your thoughts on this Oscars, Will Smith? Are you in support? Are you more like honorary moment? Yeah.
I loved it. I'm here for it. I am on Will's side. I think that he did what he had to do. And I think that their love is, and their dedication to each other is beyond Hollywood, it's beyond the money and everything. I think they really are soulmates. And regardless of what it is they do in their relationship, they have each other's back more than anyone I've ever seen in my whole life. I mean, he slapped that man in front of everybody, the whole world.
Speechless.
The middle of a production, you know what I mean? Just, that's love.
Yeah. I'm still taking it in. Thank you for sharing that, Cecily. I figured that you would be in support. And not a good thing or a bad thing. I just felt like, you know, you would be in support of, you know, we all love Will Smith.
But you see her face, like when he said that to her, when Chris said that to her, like you just saw her face just drop and her eyes kind of went, you know, she kind of rolled her eyes and she looked so disappointed, you know, and you could hear people laughing in the background. Like, I know how that feels. It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good. And before I rant and vent, Isaac, Uriel Isaac on Instagram got jokes. What do you feel about the whole situation? You know, let me say this really quick. I did see people saying that comedians can talk shit about people all day and make jokes, right? But then when I guess someone takes it seriously, and I'll try to pull up the comment shortly, but when someone takes it seriously and they don't think it's funny and they show their ass like Will Smith did, then it's not equal. I don't know how I'm trying to say it, but I'll find the comment. But what's your thoughts on it, being a comedian, and what's that fine line? Because I didn't know about the alopecia, but we're gonna talk about that.
Right, I didn't either. I think it probably stems from a lot going on with Will. I don't think it's just the Chris Rock situation and not just that particular moment. I know a few years ago he had said something about her on the Oscars, about her not being important enough to be there, basically. Right, so
when she boycotted or something.
Is she on a TV show? Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. Jada's mad her man, Will, was not nominated for concussion. I get it. Tell the truth, I get it. You get mad? She said it's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. Yeah, you're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay? It's not about boycotting anything. It's just we want opportunity. We want the black actors to get the same opportunities as white actors. That's it.
Right, like I'm sure that coupled with all the things he's been going through, how he's been looking on the internet, you know what I mean, due partially because of what Jada has been saying about him, you know what I mean, or putting out there about the relationship or what happened with the entanglement. I'm sure it all just added up, you know what I mean, in defense of Will on that note. But personally, I think he could have handled it better. You know what I mean? As a grown man, 50-some years old in Hollywood, black people, you know, I felt like it made us look once again like niggas is clowns. You know what I mean? There was easily a moment he could have walked on stage at that moment, okay, at the same time, and told Chris about himself. You know what I mean? I felt like the physical it's what is taking a little too far. You know what I mean? And I just felt like he could have handled it better, man. You know what I mean? It's two black icons. Chris, I felt was a little out of line. You know, I know he's a comedian. I'm assuming he didn't know about Jada's condition because I didn't know. You know, I called her a Ninja Turtle today because I thought it was funny. You know what I mean? Because I thought she was a bald head in a green outfit. But I didn't know that she was actually, you know, sick. So that kind of changes everything. So I can see why Will might have reacted the way he did. But
well, let's clear it up. I don't know if she's sick. Is alopecia considered
a condition?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I mean, obviously it's not dire, but if she can't grow her hair, is that what alopecia is? Right? She can't grow her hair.
You lose your hair. You lose it all over your body sometimes. I don't know where her issues are.
Right. So
go ahead.
I just feel like, you know, as far as Will, he could have handled a little better, but what's done is done. You know what I mean? He lived his truth. You know what I mean? It's a moment that will forever be remembered. You know, we'll have people, black people, white people, Asian people, everybody gonna be, you know, 50-50 on how they feel about it. So regardless for Will, whether he lost endorsements or not, it's just another staple in that man's legacy of who he is. And if he felt like he had to go to bat for his woman, and that's the way he had to do it, he went and did it. And that's what it is. And shout out to Chris Rock for not pressing charges. So that was cool also.
Agree. I have to agree with you on that, for not pressing charges. Also, shout out to Chris Rock for holding and maintaining his professionalism.
I don't know how we did that. Did you see
it was
for a second though? The nigga almost snapped back though.
Yeah, he did. He thought about it.
Yeah, he did.
He like, wait, he like, Will, what? It's like a moment like, this nigga really just slapped.
Yeah.
You know, but can you imagine if both of them would have been rolling around in suits on that? I couldn't even imagine how that would have been. So to your point, because you mentioned it, Isaac, one of the privileged people, Shadon D. Hines, said, the issue is that Black folks so scared to defile or act out in these white spaces because we want inclusion so bad.
Yes.
Because of which we suppressed our most human impulses. If he was at the arena, the 50 and Chris loser ass Rock disrespected his wife for a second time, niggas will be cool with it. Probably will put him on Chicago media takeout at most. Fuck out of here. So to your point, that was to your point of saying, you know, being in this space of the Oscars and, you know, how poised we're supposed to be, you know, not cutting up in the white space. But this Shadon is sharing, why can't we cut up in the white space?
Well, hold on. Well, because what we're saying there is that we're condoning violence. Like my point is, Black people are not violent people. No matter how we're perceived as far as a certain demographic of Black people, we're not overall violent people. We don't come from that. You know what I'm saying? We're actually loving people, probably the most loving people and accepting people on the planet. So I think for her comment to say that had it been somewhere else, it'd have been accepted. I don't think, it's not accepted anywhere. I don't see why that should have been the outcome. You know what I mean? He didn't slap her. I think there should have been a conversation and maybe pulled to the side, you know what I mean, off camera, for sure. But I don't condone violence with anyone, anywhere. Simply as that. That's just my personal opinion, though.
And that's very well
Unless
said.
it comes to putting your hands on me or putting your hands on my woman or something. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I feel as mature black men, that could have been a conversation. White, whether it was on the Vibe Awards, whether it was on the Ebony, whatever, I don't care where it's at. But that's me, though, personally. You know what I mean? But for him, he did what he needed to do, and I respect that.
Cecily, your thoughts on his apology. Will Smith apologized to Chris Rock in the form of a Instagram post, it looks like. And he said, violence and all, we're going to your point, Isaac. Will Smith states, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. So what are your thoughts on that apology?
I think that he did what he has to do. I think that he definitely has to make a step towards, doing the right thing, of course. Now that he's back in his right mind and all the other stuff during the Oscars, people forget that he's from Philly. It's a very Philly thing to do, to slap somebody, to get them together. Hello, hi. In his book, he talked about how paralyzed he felt when he saw his father beating on his mom, and he broke down about it on The Best Shape of My Life, a documentary that he did on YouTube, and saying that, he was tearfully explaining on how that experience has been traumatic for him and how he wished as a little kid that he could fight on behalf of his mom. I'm not, like I said before in my video earlier, I'm not a therapist. I'm not diagnosing him, but there has to be a correlation. You know what I mean? And they have, like Isaac said, they have withstood so much hate and, jokes and all this stuff. Like, come on.
Build up of like,
and it's like like a night like this, and she looks so regal and beautiful, and and she's probably knows that people are gonna say something about her hair. Can you imagine how defensive and how anxious they might have been, in that situation? And this is all I have to say. I'm not sure if the writers wrote that joke or if he said it off the cuff. I seem to think that he said it off the cuff because it came out so fast, but it's really lowbrow to make fun of how someone looks. We're at the Oscars. We're not in a smoky bar. This is not an open mic. You're not just riffing right now. Like, of all the things you could say right now, that's the best you could do.
Now, correct.
You're one of the best to ever do it, Chris Rock.
Correct me though. Isn't that his thing? Like when he hosts, I know other comedians do it, but when he hosts the Oscars specifically, doesn't he make those like roasting?
He talks to people and he has moments, but it's like the lowest form of comedy to make fun of how someone looks. He might as well be 15 years old. Like that, it was not clever. And all the writing on the show, it was flawless. And I don't know who wrote on the show, but you've got 3 women hosts. I seem to think that there's probably a lot of women writers. It didn't match. Everything was very clever. It was, and they were taking shots at men for the most part. That joke to me seemed very male centric. It didn't seem like something a woman would say, a woman would think of, especially knowing that Jada has a condition. It's their job to know what at least all the people that are nominated are going through. And she has publicly stated things about her hair. She's talked about it. Those people know that.
Okay, now that's a point, because that was my thing. I didn't know anything about alopecia. I haven't seen that episode of Red Table Talk. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. I wouldn't have known about that. So when he said that, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I first of all thought maybe she's in the new G.I. Jane movie. I thought it was a new role.
I can see that.
Then when I saw her face, it was like, okay, maybe not. But then when I saw Will laughing and I heard the whole audience laughing, it's like, okay, no one's really, they're all laughing. Will was even laughing. So by the time, this is what I saw, and I know y'all probably saw the same thing. when Jada's face, when she did that rolling her eyes and was not in favor of the comment, the camera immediately cut to Chris. So you didn't even really see, all you saw was Will laughing for a second, then it cut to Chris. You didn't even
saw him
what happened in that moment. If he looked at Jada and she, what happened?
They probably was like,
right. You know what I'm saying? Like what was going on in those moments? But ultimately, I feel like, we all on the same page. Violence, and someone did say another comment earlier, like violence, it for them, a privilege, one of our privileged people was saying it made black on black look cool. Black on black crime look even more cool.
I can't do this with you guys.
From two icons doing this on a stage. Now, okay, y'all letting the baby, so the baby's actions and him knocking people out when they touching him or different shit, or Kevin Gates, brushing interviewers stuff off when they touch him in interviews. It's like they made that okay, is what the comment said.
We are not a monolith. I am not the same as you or him or whoever just because I'm black. We're not all the same.
That's true.
We're not all the same. This is crazy. Can you say white people are the same? We're just as, there's just as big a variety of us as anyone else in the world. Are you kidding? I'm not buying the hype.
No, I agree.
Some old folk shit. That's some shit that your grandparents taught you.
That's some
to motivate you to be better than you did everybody else.
Yeah,
I'm not buying it. I looked at it and I was like, that's crazy. That's funny. And I don't feel any kinship to that. If you look at them and think I'm supposed to act the same way, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah,
I'm a completely different individual. I
agree. And those people who are influenced by that, that's just another excuse. You know what I'm saying? That's some. She wants to say hi. That's some shit that I feel like Boosie would condone proudly. You know what I'm saying? Just like proudly. And I don't know if there's a video out or if there's one, but I know it may be on its way. But it's some shit he would condone. And the culture, our culture, I feel like it's the first time, and history was literally made. Obviously, first of all, congratulations to Will Smith on his first Oscar win.
Yeah, right.
As well as Samuel L. Jackson's, his first Oscar as well, right? Was it his first Oscar?
I think so.
Yeah, it was a lot going on, a lot of good stuff, but it was overshadowed, and all we hearing about is Will and Chris. Right. And so now that the apology has happened, no police reports have been filed. I feel like the culture might be able to put it to rest.
Well,
no, not for a while.
To your point, real quick, we were talking about hashtag Oscars so white all this time. It wasn't that white last night. So no. I get that.
So, and I agree. So on what you saying that, I saw the news reporting this morning that they kept pointing out and made it a deal to point out that there was a black production crew that did the Oscars.
Will Packer is the one who directed it.
Okay, got you. Okay, so they kept calling that out like, okay, well, this happened because there was a black production team behind it. Like, it had to be. Y'all had to say it that way. That's how the media portrays things. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there were lots of brown and black faces last night. I mean, it was very noticeable. There was not going to be that Oscar so white moment happening. No. That conversation was not going to happen. And I can see it's unfortunate that coincidentally this happened on stage.
Yeah. So we're going to keep y'all, we're going to stay tuned to that, and we're going to keep y'all tapped in if y'all aren't already tapped into the Will and Chris things going on. Lastly, did you guys get to check out the clip with, what's her name? Tiffany Haddish.
No, what's
the red carpet when she was talking to the interviewer?
No.
Okay. Well, we're gonna lead our guests out and listeners out with that clip.
A little costume change?
I'm not wearing a costume. I'm wearing Dolce & Gabbana. Oh. It's called an evening gown, darling. This is not. No one's paying me for this. I paid for it. It's custom. Thank you.
Time of death for me right now. You look gorgeous.
This is not an acting gig. This is my life. This what fame look like. This what success look like. This what money look like. This what it look like. It's what it look like.
When is your book coming out called This What It Looked Like? And I will just read the entire book.
That book's not coming no time soon, but I Curse You With Joy will be out in November.
Okay.
And Layla, The Last Black Unicorn will be out next month.
I'm doing so much right now. Okay.
I'm just, trying to accomplish a lot of things before 50. What are you doing?
Well, I'm wondering
You
something.
out here with no shoes on, I'm jealous.
No shoes on. Here's
you
the thing.
from?
I'm from Chicago.
And you out here.
We're gonna head out. So drop a comment on the video if you can. We're gonna post it on the Privilege Show page. Y'all leave us a comment, drop a comment, continue to subscribe and listen and download. I haven't taken the time to really share our analytics with you guys, but people are tapping in, y'all. I mean, building up every month. Our listens, our downloads and streams are going up even when we've been off season. So thank y'all for supporting us. And it feels good to be back on the air with y'all, like talking our stuff. It always feels very natural doing it. So glad to be back. And we'll chat with y'all soon.
If you enjoyed this episode of the socially charged, debatable, and dope privilege show, check out seasons 1 through 4 now on HausHill Entertainment Plus. Head over to www.haushillentertainment.com for more content from some of your favorite writers, producers, and other creatives around the world. Subscribe to HHE Plus for premium, ad-free content. See you there.